All right, and here we are for Happy Hour number 2 on this Friday, November 6th. And it's time for Lydia Laucella, and we're going to hear about EdPuzzle. What is EdPuzzle all about?
Yeah, hello everybody. Thank you for coming. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. We're going to do something a little bit different today. We're going to do some storytelling. Can you see my screen okay?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. All right, so I'm going to start by walking you through how to log into EdPuzzle, and then we'll talk about how we can use it and some ideas I had about using it in a more innovative way than we've talked about before. So a couple of things I did want to mention from last week's Happy Hour is Tammy and Irma, you can actually upload Loom videos into EdPuzzle and annotate them similar to Vizia. So that's a really great advancement that I didn't know last week. And some things I also like about EdPuzzle, and it kind of really ties in really nicely to what Jason just presented, is you can create classes in EdPuzzle. And it's a great way to track if our students are watching our videos. And I know that's been at the tip of everyone's tongue, especially this semester. I know for me it has been, because I've assigned a lot of videos this year, and there's really no good way in Canvas to track whether or not they're watching them for their homework. And so I really liked this particular app, but I also like some other features about it. So, all right, so I'll walk you through EdPuzzle. So you can, if you'd like to do it, or you can follow my screen, you would go directly to edpuzzle.com. And to sign up, it's really easy to do. You can sign in as a teacher and as a student. So if you're familiar with Schoology or any other type of learning platform outside of Canvas, you can send students a code or a link to sign up as well. Right. And it very easily allows them to sign in. And if they have multiple classes that are using EdPuzzle, then they have a dashboard for each one of those classes, very similar to Schoology if you're familiar with that platform. So you can click on as I'm a teacher. You have two different options. You can sign in through Google, or you can sign in with an EdPuzzle. So you would just set a name and password like you would with any other type of technology that you're playing around with. So I'm actually going to backtrack because I do actually have an account already set up. All right. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and log in. And I've set it up to my Google account, but it's totally up to your, preference. If you don't want to link it to your Google, you're worried about privacy and all that kind of stuff, you don't have to. Just to walk you through some of the great features that exist in EdPuzzle, you have some areas that you might want to play around with. I haven't played with them too much, but these are really, really great things that you can do with EdPuzzle as well. So you can actually look up some pre-developed curriculum already. So obviously this doesn't apply for us, but maybe let's say that you are teaching student teachers, elementary school teachers or middle school teachers. And so this might be something that they could use to look up curriculum or just kind of see what kind of lesson plans are out there. You can also join the institution. So right now, I don't see any content, but maybe as we continue on and we use this, then we'll develop our own content. So it's similar to Canvas Commons, if you want to think about it that way. And the great thing is, obviously, it stores your content. I think for a free version, you can store up to 20 videos. So those are your options right here. Down here, there's also some channels, so it's kind of like YouTube in a way, and it actually links directly to YouTube. So you can click on some videos here. And the really cool thing about this feature is you can actually go in and edit these videos yourself. And let's say that you really liked some of this content that was being taught, but you want to add your own multiple choice questions or your own annotations to the video. You can do that. So I'm not going to show you that particular feature today because that's not what we're going to be concentrating on, but just be aware that you can do that. You can take already pre-made videos in here and add quiz questions, add annotations to it. So it's a really great resource. You can cut videos too. So if you only want a specific part of the video, you really liked what that person said, you can do that. And it has a YouTube repository as well, but you can also search YouTube content up here at the top. So if I wanted to scroll down and say, okay, let me see what are some videos based on, you know, my interest in EdPuzzle, I could find that. There's also links to Khan Academy. So if y'all use any of those videos, those are usually for, you know, younger students. But also National Geographic, and I don't know about you, but I use a lot of TED Talks as well. So I really like this feature that I could go in and search the TED Talk channel within this particular platform. So those are just some of the simple features that we have in here. Now I'm going to talk to you about the classes real quick. So you can actually assign a class, and like I mentioned before, once you make a class, you can get a link or a code that students can join the class. So I'm going to walk you through how to create a new class very briefly. So let me move this out of my way. All right. So I would just say test class 2, because I already have a test class, and just put a simple description. So there's 2 different types of class type. There's classic, and so I'm not really sure on what the differences are. There's open and a classic. So it says this would be more, here it is. So you have to enter a class code to join this. And if it's classic, it's more like a classroom type environment where you have projects and that sort of thing. So I'm going to go ahead and click create class. And up here at the top, I can invite students. So here's where I can copy the link or share that class code with my students. All right. What I really like about this, though, are the features you have for editing videos. But before I get to that, I actually wanted to show you a video that I produced a couple years ago in my PhD program. And as I was preparing for this particular Appy Hour, I was trying to pull videos that I could easily upload to EdPuzzle to kind of demonstrate the annotation process for you. But as I was doing that, I was thinking about how this could be used as a really wonderful metacognitive tool for our students. And especially if you're working with the same students for over progression of a year or more within a particular program, and you wanted them to come back to some of their work, even within a time frame of 1 semester, you can do that, where you could have them reflect back on something that they've done in your class and annotate it, because it really allows you to reflect on what you've learned, think critically, and also it helps you maybe give a little bit more content and context to what it was that you created for that particular class. So I'm going to demonstrate that for you today. So now this is where we get into the storytelling. This is a really personal video that I created for one of my dissertation classes, like I said. And we were tasked with making an I Believe digital narrative. Are you guys familiar with that type of assignment? Mm-hmm. An I Believe poem? Okay, so I'll give you a little bit of context on it. An I Believe poem, it could come in the form of so many different things, but it's basically a poem that you start off pretty much every sentence with I believe, and then it is whatever you believe in. So it could be something as simple as I believe French fries are the best food ever, and I can write an entire poem about it. Or it could be I believe in social equality, and I write an entire poem about this. This one in particular was I really want to focus on who I am and my foundations. I wanted to make it really impactful and deep, I guess you could say. So I'm going to show you the video, and then I'm going to show you how I, as a student, could actually go back and annotate this and really change the meaning of the video. So it adds a lot more context to why I made certain choices in this video. Before I play it, don't look at the watermark. We were playing around with some new technology in that particular course. So if you see the watermark, I apologize for that. All right, let's watch the video. I believed in love. I believe in nostalgia and the good old days. I believe in love at first sight. I believe in love. I believe in nostalgia and the good old days. I believe in second chances. I believe in strength in God's plan. I believe in the stars above. I believe in nostalgia. I believe in the good old days. I believe in faith. I believe in second chances. I believe in a new dawn. I believe in the evergreen. I believe in the simple things. I believe you should stop and smell the flowers. I believe in legacy. I believe in second chances. I believe in legacy. I believe in being first. I believe destiny is written on the numbers. I believe in happiness. I believe in the bees. I believe in the good old days. I don't believe in goodbyes. I believe in the beginning. I believe in my roots. I believe in legacy. I believe in new beginnings. I believe in fate. I believe in fun. I believe in second chances. I believe in love at first sight. I believe in the simple things. I believe in friendship. I believe in all friendships. I believe in family. I believe in happiness. I believe in the future. I believe in love. Okay, so that is my really personal video. If you know anything about me, I am a very private person. So there's a lot of context that is kind of missing in this particular video. So when I shared it with my classmates, and my instructor, there's a lot that they wouldn't be able to pick up on just by watching that video. They might hear the music, they might pay attention to the change in the music, maybe some of the pictures they might be interested in, but they wouldn't really know why I made certain choices. And so especially like in literacy classes, or even in classes where you're watching student teachers or you're working on some difficult content, some of that might be lost in a video project. And so I think being able to have our students go back and annotate what they've done is a really great tool. Of course, for us, it's also a great tool. Like I told you before, there's polling features. Not polling features, but you have the ability to ask multiple choice or open-ended questions. You can annotate your video. You can actually annotate verbal text as well, or sorry, audio notes. So yes, it's a great feature for us to assign videos that way, but it's also a great tool for us to kind of walk through students on reflecting on their own learning or a project that they've completed. So once you choose a video that you would like to add to EdPuzzle, it's recommended that you use an actual link. So you want to have a YouTube video, or like I mentioned before, Tammy, a Loom video or something that has a link. MP4s, there's only a limited amount of space that you can use within EdPuzzle to upload MP4s, especially on the free version. So I would not recommend doing that. So I just grabbed the link and I'm going to go ahead and copy it into the search bar, and it automatically pulls it up for me. So some of the great features like you saw in Vizia is you can cut the video. So if I wanted to make it a little bit shorter, I could. I could also do a voiceover. So that would be another type of annotation. Right now it's telling me that it's not allowing me to do that. But what I could also do is I could add some questions to the video. So this is what I really like about this feature is I could add notes in here. And I think this is where our students could use this feature as well. Is let's say that, let me start the video. And I might want to add something in here like, I don't know if you noticed, but during the video, I was repeating a lot of the same things. And when I was doing that, I wanted my poem to kind of sound like a song. So I was saying, I believe in beginnings. I believe in new beginnings. I believe in nostalgia. I believe in love. So I wanted to come back to some of those same concepts based on different stages of my life. And so if you're just watching that video for the first time, you might not pick up on that particular idea. So maybe if I wanted to add something to this video, I might say, during this video, I will repeat certain phrases over and over for emphasis, let's say. Oops, okay. And then save it. All right. So now that notation lives here. And so whoever's watching the video can come in and say, okay, that maybe makes some sense. And then once I'm ready to move on, I can go back and edit this note if I want to, or I can delete it. Very similar to what Tammy was showing us with Vizia. And then I'll just click continue. I believe in nostalgia and the good old days. So maybe here I might want to say something about this particular image, like this is an image of my grandparents. I believe in nostalgia because they're no longer here, something like that. Like I could put in another notation. So what I would do is I would go back through this video and annotate important concepts, important points, like why did the music change from a more upbeat to like a Hawaiian music? Well, that's because it has certain significance for me. So I really thought that this could be a feature that our students could use I feel like so much of an opportunity was lost when I came back to this video a couple years later. And I was like, there's so much I could have said or reflected on outside of this assignment. So I think it'd be a great extension to some of the projects we ask our students to do. So once I'm done with all my annotations, I'm just going to click finish. Okay. And then what I can do is I can go in and I can assign my video to my class. So I'm going to go ahead and click assign. Something that I really like about this feature too, if you're using this to annotate, let's say I wanted to annotate a TED Talk, for example, and I wanted to ask some questions of our students, like some multiple choice quiz questions. I could prevent them from skipping through the video. So when they go back and you see the user statistics, whether or not they've watched the video, I can go back and say, okay, I know they haven't skipped through it. They've watched it or they haven't. And another thing that I know you'll appreciate, Tammy, if you're here, is I can turn on closed captions as well. So that's great for accessibility. I can add a due date. Let's just say we'll make it for tomorrow and save. And now I go ahead and assign the video. All right, so I can also grab an embed code or a link. So if I wanted to just send it out as an announcement in Canvas, I could do that and they could log into EdPuzzle. But I think it would be easier to just grab this embed code and embed it into Canvas as part of an assignment, let's say. So I could easily go in and grade it later. So I'm going to go ahead and copy that. And if you're not familiar with using embed codes in Canvas, I'll go ahead and walk you through it. So I'm logged into a test course here in Canvas. Then I'm going to click on Add Assignment. And over here, I'm going to click on the Insert Edit Media button. And I'm going to click on Embed. And then I'm going to insert my embed code. And I will have the video here, and I could click to see it get started. So let me go ahead and save this. All right, and so if a student was going to come here and see it, they could click on Get Started, and they could start watching the video. I believe in love. And you'll see right here is my note. So if I had asked them a question, then that question would pop up and they would have to answer it. But here it just kind of gives them a quick, okay, this is what I need to pay attention to while I watch this video. And then to continue, I would just click continue and go to the next section. I believe in nostalgia. So that's how you would upload it to Canvas. All right, let me take you back to EdPuzzle. And I'm going to show you a couple other features. All right, so another great thing about EdPuzzle is they will automatically grade your quizzes for you. So if I had embedded a quiz question in here, then it would grade it, and it would show me how many have completed it, and it will also show me some user statistics. So let me see if I can try to get in here. I don't actually have any students in here right now, so it's kind of hard to show you this, but let's see if I can. This is what it'll look like. And Tammy, are you still, she's not in here anymore. This is actually a video of hers that I uploaded through Loom. It's one of her videos. And you can actually see some of the statistics that you would be able to look up once it's been assigned to students. So you can see whether it's been watched or not and how much has been watched. And so if you clicked on that prevent skipping option, then students would not be able to skip through that video. You can see if you had any quiz questions embedded in the video, you can see their grade. And it also allows them to take the quiz questions again. So if it's something that you're using for them to learn content and they didn't master the content right away, they can watch that part of the video and go back and take that quiz again until they get the grade that they want to. You can also see when was it last watched and whether or not they turned in the assignment. So whether or not they completed the quiz questions, for example. And you can also reset the student progress down here and download the grades. So if you weren't using this through Canvas and you just wanted to download the grades, you can do that and then enter them into Canvas as well. So that's what I really liked about EdPuzzle. I know that was short and sweet. Are there any questions about it?
So how do you know which student answered what? Is it because they used the link and they had to log in with their name?
Yes. Yeah, they will log in. They'll have their own personal account. And so, like I said, I don't have any students in here right now. I just tested this out for you guys, but you should be able to see their name here. And then you can track whether or not they've watched it. So I know in my classes, I'm definitely going to be using this for FYS, and I want to annotate some of those TED Talks and some of those key points that I really want them to pay attention to, and maybe even embed some multiple choice questions in there. And I know now I'll have a better way of tracking whether or not they've actually seen the video. And I really like that feature about it.
Can you use this in pre-existing PowerPoints?
I believe it's only for video-based content. So if your PowerPoint was turned...
If I have embedded videos in PowerPoint,
okay,
can I put these, you see what I'm saying?
you should be able to embed the actual EdPuzzle video
Okay.
into your PowerPoint if you have that embed code. Now, students would have to be logged in. Like, I don't think it will talk directly from your PowerPoint to EdPuzzle, if that makes sense. But we'd have to try that out and see. They would definitely have to have an account in order for them to do that.
Okay.
That's a good question.
Can you embed this into a discussion?
Yeah, absolutely. Anywhere that you can embed, well, let's see. I think anywhere you can embed into the RCE, you should be able to embed it into the discussion.
I think you can embed. I can't
discussion, and then you click
it's there.
Meeting. Yeah, it's there under your RCE. So you could just go ahead and click the embed, copy your code in there, And so you could have that as a video. So that's a great way too. Like I use a lot of videos in my discussions. I want them to watch the video first and then do a discussion. And again, there's no real good way of tracking that in Canvas right now. So for me, I think having this there and knowing that I can track whether or not they've watched the video before they did the discussion post is a great way for me to monitor their progress.
And
What
since
do
this
you,
is, go ahead, Irma.
what do you think of having students do a video and doing this and putting
That's a
questions
great
in?
question. You can actually add a project, and that's why I really liked thinking about this also as a metacognitive tool. So let me go back to my classes, and I got to remember where it was. I was looking at it earlier today under content, maybe under my content. Add content. So if I go back to my homepage and I go to my content and then add content, I can actually add a student project assignment. So I would click on that. And then let's say maybe I wanted to assign an I believe narrative. And I'm just gonna put test for now and save the project. And students would click on here, and I'm not really sure what it looks like from the student perspective. So let's see if we can try to pull that up for you. Okay, so I should be back in my test class now. Okay, that's something that we're gonna have to play around with a little bit more. I was playing with it a little bit today, but I know that you can actually assign a project within here. Or what you can also do is you could have students practice uploading a video into EdPuzzle. If they have a YouTube link of a video that they've created, and then they can go back in and annotate it. So that would be a really cool feature as well.
This is very useful, especially given the problems we were about to experience with Stream. One of the things that we could do in Stream is embed these quizzes and get results back using Stream. I'm not sure if that functionality is going to survive the changeover to whatever is happening to Stream. It's a great way to augment YouTube videos. And Cindy, Keith, you know, our Lightboard videos, you could easily add in a quiz question after a key point in a Lightboard video because those are YouTube videos. I'm not sure. Most of our YouTube videos that we posted as unlisted. Do you know if unlisted videos can be annotated in EdPuzzle?
That's a good question. I don't know if it would show up in the search content feature, but I would try doing a copy and paste and see if it shows up there and be able to do it that way. I know there are some restrictions, like when I was showing you before, that there's not a voiceover option for some videos, but you can still go back in and add a question or a notation. And like I said before, the great thing about those notes is you can actually add an audio recording. So let's say maybe I wanted to stop the video and actually ask the students in addition to a multiple choice question and say, okay, let's review what we just learned and then answer these questions. So I could do that as well.
It's somewhat similar to the Canvas Studio. Now, Studio makes it a little bit easier for students to upload videos. And I think that's why we pay what we pay to have that option, because most of the use cases for Studio, at least for us, are students sharing their videos back to the professor. Although there is the option of annotating and time stamping comments in Canvas Studio. You said students can timestamp their own notes on these videos?
Yeah, I think so. I have to look more into it to see if they have to have if they have to sign up as a teacher or as a student. I didn't practice from the student perspective. I just practiced from the teacher perspective. But I think if this was something that you wanted to use in your classes, you should definitely explore to see how you could teach students to do annotations, because first of all, that's something that they need to be taught. And I know we have some other options like Hypothesis and Canvas Studio where they can do that as well. But that would just be something that you would have to play around with more and see, you know, how it works for them. And you have to give them a primer on how to do that, because a lot of times our students don't know how to, don't know what an annotation is and why you should do it and why it's purposeful. So I could definitely imagine seeing this in upper level courses and even graduate courses on campus. Yeah, great comments. Do we have other questions about it? What do y'all think?
Yeah, like I said, I think it's a great way to amplify and augment content that's already out there, even if it's content that you've created and is out there on YouTube. I think it's a it's a nice feature. When they click on that, so when they do it embedded in Canvas, they don't ever have to leave the page. They can answer the questions right there too, right?
Again, that's something I haven't played with yet. Yeah. So
I would assume that would be the case.
mhm.
So again, that's a good way of keeping their focus using this outside tool, but not letting them, you know, chase rabbits other than the rabbits you want them to chase.
Yeah, part of the issue is what you know when you're using an LTI from within Canvas. Sorry about, he always does this. It's hard because you can't test that out in student view. So you probably have to try that out from a test instance or from the admin account to see what the student perspective is on that. But again, you don't have to do it through Canvas in order for them to participate in it. If they have an account, they could go in and do it themselves as well.
Okay.
Mhm.
I'm just trying to figure out the best way to have students produce their own video that they can embed questions in for other students to answer.
Yes. Let me try it more.
It seems to me like it'd be to use this, it'd be a two-step process. They'd have to produce the video and upload it to YouTube.
Right.
And then import it from YouTube over into here to get it to put those questions in.
So I'd have to have a lot of really good instructions.
Yes, you would, definitely. I think.
Or a lot of really great Reinhardt University student learning resources.
Yes. Yes. I was just thinking, we just did a presentation where my students created a video for one of their projects that we did, our service learning project. And I was thinking that would be a great way for them to go back and actually comment on, why did I make this choice? Why did I talk about this? What did I learn maybe from this particular project that maybe I didn't mention in this first video? Or even have them go back a couple of years later and say, oh, wow, you know, I've learned a lot from this. Or from our student teachers who are in the classroom and annotate like they're doing in Canvas Studio and say, you know, I don't really know what I was thinking when I taught that particular lesson. Or maybe this time I would do something differently. And so that's where that metacognitive piece comes in that I really liked about it.
Yeah, I'm thinking about this for their final exam, but I don't know if I want the headache of them telling me I couldn't get it to work.
Yeah, I think this would be one of those moments where you would have to walk them through it during class step by step.
Right, that's what I'm thinking too. And so this is probably not a great idea for the final exam.
Probably not for this semester. I would play around with EdPuzzle first and see how comfortable you are with it and how familiar you are with it. It's free to use. Like I said, you just can sign in with Google with your own account and then kind of play around with it, annotating your own videos first, and then move forward with that and see, okay, how can we develop this student experience with it as well?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
I'm usually the person who does the cart before the horse. So, and then I pay for it later.
Yeah, that can add some frustration for our students for sure. As I've seen this year, we used Petakuta, which is another app that we're going to talk about in a couple of weeks. And they had some mixed user experience with that. So, but it was a good learning experience for us.
Yeah.
And that's the thing with technology is you just have to try it out. You have to play with it. So I don't know all the features of EdPuzzle yet because I'm still figuring everything out. But I just wanted to present a different format for it because I know Tammy talked about Visio, and you can also do annotating with Visio. But I like the metacognitive aspect of going and having students annotate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Any other questions, or do you guys think that you might be interested in using something like this, even for your own videos in classes?
Yeah, I could see using it. Actually, I have just today I've created an assignment that uses a YouTube video that I usually show in class.
Yeah.
And I was going to use something different that does the annotation. So luckily, I haven't uploaded that assignment yet. So I was thinking I could use EdPuzzle to actually, so they have to stop at certain points and apply course concepts. So yeah, I may actually play with it and use it next week. We'll see.
Good. Yeah.
Fantastic.
There's a big push for that right now, especially, with everything that's going on with COVID and virtual learning. There's a big push for us in thinking about how we want our students to learn from these videos and what do we want them to take away from it, not just sit down and passively watch it or skip through it until the end. But I like how you can add your own questions to it and hopefully help them develop a better understanding of the content we want them to get.
Do we know what type of videos is it just those that you had listed there that through EdPuzzle you can use? Like we have Films on Demand, that is an LTI that we also have connected. Is there a way if we can, I guess if there's an embed code, we can embed it in EdPuzzle and create that? Or does it have to be something that's already licensed by EdPuzzle to the content?
I think it probably have to be already licensed, but if you have it as an MP4, if it's a very short, like couple minute video, it will work. But I tried to upload an MP4 that was this particular video that was 3.5 minutes long, and it shut off about after 2 minutes. So I know that that wasn't the right file size. So if you have a link to the video, I would try that. Now, I can't guarantee that it will recognize that video. It might say, due to licensing agreements, we can't. I don't know what would happen to it.
Yeah.
So you just have to try it. Yeah, just try it.
My fear would be that, that LTI for Films on Demand authenticates viewers by logging in with their credentials, right? They have to have the Reinhardt credentials to see it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it'd kind of be the same thing of trying to do student view with an LTI. If EdPuzzle is trying to access a video that it needs Reinhardt credentials to see, I'm afraid you might not be able to get it to go through, but it's worth a shot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely worth a shot. But like you said, it might be one of those instances where you can't even try to play with it because you can't do student view with an LTI, like Dr. Conklin said.
Can I ask a question about EdPuzzle, but just a little tangential? Lydia, you work a lot more in this arena than I do. Is there any talk by the software development companies to actually allow a change of the skin of the program? I actually have heard students complain about certain apps that they're using this semester because they think it's childish, the colors or the font. And I was just wondering, like even EdPuzzle, when it first came up, I'm like, it doesn't strike me. But if there was a simple way for them to say, there's 5 different skin templates, I didn't know if that's something they actually would receive as feedback or if you've heard any talk with the developers about that.
No, I haven't heard any talk with the developers about that. That's not to say that it's not going on. That's a great comment. And I think what we're seeing, though, is because there's so many apps that were being used outside of higher education for a while that are now being adopted by higher education, that hopefully we will see that shift. Like we've seen a lot of changes with Teams. We've seen a lot of changes with Zoom since the pandemic started. We're seeing more use of Padlet in the higher education classroom, which before we weren't seeing it as much. Poll Ever, I know, is used in lower ed as well. So is Kahoot. And so sometimes even if my students see a Kahoot, they're like, oh my gosh, I'm in high school again. So I think that would be a really neat phenomenon if they could start targeting some of these ed tech apps to higher ed. So our students still want to use it and they don't think it's childish. That's a great comment.
Yeah, that's a great question, Donald, because I had that issue. I used to use Poll Everywhere. I tried Kahoot for a year. I got some awful feedback on student evaluations that they thought it was childish.
Yeah.
I went back to Poll Everywhere. I
Yeah.
mean, they're really not that different, other than Kahoot's more like gaming, right? In a way, because you're competing against others.
Right.
But Poll Everywhere, you can actually change the skins. Actually, you can make it any way you want it. You have the ability to change the background and everything in Poll Everywhere.
Nice. Yeah.
So
with Padlet you can too. With Padlet you can change your backgrounds as well.
and Padlet you can as well. Yes, and I do that on mine. Yeah.
Yeah, I think, of course, Kahoot is one of the ones students have mentioned, but I think Flipgrid was as well, because I think Flipgrid is used a lot in elementary school even, or middle school, and many of them had used it before, and they're like, I'm at college. And
yeah. It's interesting. We'll see how things continue to develop.
Well, even the embedded quizzes, the template options in Microsoft Stream embedded quizzes, they were quite juvenile too. You know, cartoony pictures, monochrome type. It was just kind of childish.
Yeah.
So yeah, get with it, y'all.
Yeah, I never did the Microsoft Stream quizzes. I guess because when I tried it, I felt the same. I don't know. I
Yeah.
try to stay away from anything that looks childish anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let me know how you guys like EdPuzzle, and I'll keep playing around with it to see what the student perspective is like and see if there's any knowledge that we can gain from that, and we'll go forward.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Lydia. This was a great way to augment YouTube videos and to start, putting in those checkpoints so that we know who's watching and we know they're getting what we want them to get out of the videos, and that there's a skill in reading critically. There's also a skill in viewing critically. And I think this is a good tool that we can use to help build that skill. Thank you, everybody. Let me remind you, Appy Hour next week will feature Irma. And we're going to be learning about question formulation with Padlet and augmented with Adobe Sparks, which is another video editing platform. Am I right?
Yes, Adobe Spark Video. They're so easy to make and unbelievable. And in Padlet, you can embed it right in, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And then following Irma, we'll have James Butler do his presentation on Perusall, which is the social media / collaborative reading app where you can hopefully get your students to do reading a little bit more because they'll see the comments and notes that their colleagues have made. So hope you can join for that one at 4 next week. And with that, I think we'll go ahead and stop recording and say again, thank you to Lydia and thank you all for joining.
No problem. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thanks, Lydia.
Bye.